Right, so I'm on the road. It's the 2nd of January. It's 10 past 11 in the morning and I've just set off. So according to the sat-nav, I've got 4 hours and 20 minutes, which is 460 kilometres. And yeah, so the plan is I basically got 5 whole days. I sail on the 7th. It's the 2nd today, so I've got the 2nd, which I'm off to Zaragoza. The 3rd, I will cross the border into Spain and stay just north of the border in Spain. The 4th, I'll stay a little bit further up, probably around about Le Mans. The 5th and the 6th, I will then head towards the port. So I've got basically about a day's worth of breathing space, just in case, hopefully, nothing goes wrong. But I have got a little bit of tolerance. And the plan is that I will get to the port on the 6th, and I will stay over the night in the queue at the port, which I'm assuming you can do, because I've got an early sailing. The ship sails at 6 AM from Dieppe. So check-in is kind of 4:30 AM. So I'm sure I'll be able to arrive at the port on the night before and then sit in the queue ready for an early start. So, the holiday. It's just been incredible. So I've spent, I think, 52 nights in Benidorm, which, as you know from previous posts, was never my plan. I was never going to Benidorm. And it's just been amazing. I have had an amazing holiday. It has probably been, if not the best, definitely one of the best Christmases and New Year's that I've ever had. Now, there could be people watching this that might say, God, Benidorm, I'd never go to Benidorm. And do you know what? My advice is don't knock it until you've tried it, because Benidorm gets a lot of bad press. Sometimes for the right reasons, sometimes for the wrong reasons. Benidorm has got something for everybody, and if you like going out for nice meals in good quality restaurants that don't cost a fortune, Benidorm's got it. If you like sitting in the bar all day watching the football or the rugby or whatever you're into, you can do that in Benidorm. If you like going out to see shows and performers, and 90% of them, 95% of them are free of charge. So literally, you pay a little bit more for the drinks, so they kind of pay for the acts. But the quality of the acts, and I will do a separate video at some stage, just really highlighting some of the acts that I saw. But the quality of the acts is just brilliant, really, really entertaining. Obviously Benidorm's got a great beach, and it's also got the weather. So at this time of year, the weather does dip down significantly at night, as everywhere in Europe to a large extent does. So although I haven't been awake when it's been cold, I do know that I had my heating set to around about 12 degrees minimum during the night. Never had the heating on during the day. And I know when I woke up in the morning that the heating had been on. But it doesn't matter, because you're tucked up in bed and you're nice and warm. And personally, I don't like it too hot when I'm in bed. During the day, I think probably the maximum temperature that I've seen was probably around about 23, 25. So really nice, like a hot summer's British day. seen some rain. We have had some rain, but not a huge amount. Christmas Day was a complete washout, but that didn't affect our enjoyment because we were inside a restaurant with my friends having an amazing time. So what else can I tell you? The reason why I love Benidorm, and some people may laugh at this, some people may say, why go all the way to Spain and spend all of your time with British people? But as a solo traveller, it can get quite lonely, and you know, unless you can have conversations with people to break up that loneliness, then it can get on top of you. Thankfully, I haven't suffered from that because of the type of person that I am, and I'm quite happy to sit in a restaurant and just chat to anybody. And so most of my days have involved walking down to the beach with Ted, as you've probably seen by some of my previous posts, and just sitting there for a few hours in the morning on the beach at my favourite restaurant, Stag and Pheasant, having a few coffees and just people watching. And do you know what? You just get talking to people, especially because of Ted, because normally people want to talk about Ted. But I do know that some people who I've spoken to that have done a bit of a road trip and who have had 2 weeks, 3 weeks on their own of literally not talking to anybody because of where they've been staying. It's been predominantly Spanish people who either didn't or didn't want to speak English, and I know that would get on my nerves because I'm a talkative person, so I like having chats to people. And in Benidorm you've got lots of British people. At this time of year it's very much an older audience, an older crowd, but there are still lots and lots and lots of younger people there. But maybe the areas that I went to during the day, very much the older crowd, which was great. You know, you can sit there for a half an hour just chatting about whatever. And then obviously on the evening, brilliant entertainment. I have never danced so much in all my life. Anybody that knows me knows that I don't really dance. But the music, the entertainment, the bands that I've watched, the company that I was with, it just kind of encouraged me to dance. So yeah, I've had a brilliant time. So yeah, what else can I tell you? I'll be coming back. I'll definitely be coming back. Obviously it depends on work. Work takes prime place in terms of planning my diary, but I'm hoping that I can find a period that is not needing me to travel, where I'll just be working remotely, and that's the time that I'd like to come back. It can't be in the summer because Ted doesn't like the hot weather. So I've got my eyes set on maybe the back end of the year. It can't be December because I know that I will be away travelling, and it can't be January because I know I'll be away travelling. But maybe, fingers crossed, maybe I could come over here for a few months, maybe September, October, November. Sorry, we're in a tunnel now, so it's got a little bit dark. So there you go. But I will film bits of the journey home. It's very similar to the journey here, so you know, there's not a lot to show you. But for those of you that have followed my journey down through France and Spain and to Benidorm, and then the videos that I've taken of the Benidorm Fiesta, and a few of the other videos, for those of you that watch the videos, thank you very much for watching. I hope they were of interest. I'm not a vlogger that that does a vlog every other day, or one that does a vlog every Thursday. For those of you that subscribe to my other channels, you'll know that I only post videos when I've actually got something to say or when I've got something to show. And sometimes there can be months with no posts, because I'm not interested in getting a massive audience. That isn't why I do it. I do it, number one, to document to myself, so that I can, in years' time, watch the videos back and remind myself of what I've done. But also because I know that there will be people out there that are interested in what I'm doing, to give them inspiration to do the same. And that's the reason why I do it. So for those of you that are considering doing something like this, I can't recommend it highly enough, honestly. It's a lot of driving, so you've got to be happy to be able to put the miles in. But you'll have your own plan, and your plan, I guarantee, will look completely different to what I've done. So, hold on 2 seconds. There's just 2 seconds. But don't stress about driving abroad. You fit into it quite quickly. You will get used to it. And the easy approach is just to follow the car in front of you until you're happy. A lot of the driving is on roads like this, which is a motorway, let's say. So once you're on it, you'll fit into it really, really quickly. So yeah, don't get scared about the driving. If you can drive in the UK, driving abroad is just the same, but just on the other side of the road. So everything goes the other way round. Islands go the other way round, junctions are, but you'll get used to it. Everything is very familiar, you know, fuel, and if you've got a decent sat-nav, and to be honest with you, I run 2 different sat-navs. I run a sat-nav that knows about the dimensions of my motorhome, so I don't get taken down small roads. And I also run Google Maps, and I run them both side by side, just so that I can double check that one isn't making a mistake. If you're in a motorhome or a van, there's loads of places to stop off. A lot of them are free. They're called airs, and you can get an app on your phone to find the closest air to where you're going to be staying. You can also get directories. You can buy them online, and there's loads of, let's say, stopover sites that you can join, like we have in the UK. Not so much pub stopovers, you don't tend to get those over here. But as I say, there's airs everywhere. Either just off the motorway, like a motorway services where you can stop over, or in villages. Most villages have airs. So yeah, don't stress, because it's really easy. The campsite, you may have seen the video of where I stayed, Camping Racco. There's several campsites that take motorhomes in Benidorm. Villa Sol, Villa Mar, Benimar, Racco obviously, La Torretta. So there's loads of choice, and they do vary in price and facilities. So do your own homework. And Racco is the only site that I've been on. I've been talking to people that have stayed on other sites, and some people prefer La Torretta, some people prefer Villa Sol, some people prefer Villa Mar, and it's your choice again. But I can't speak highly enough about Racco. The staff were brilliant. I will give you a rundown, probably in a few minutes, or when I get to my stopover in Zaragoza. I'll look at my bill, And I'll give you a rundown about how much it's cost me for both pitch fees and also electric, just so you can get an idea. I haven't really been keeping a track of fuel, but I think on my credit card it does itemise service stations, so maybe I can, at the end of the trip, tell you how much it's actually ended up costing me in fuel as well, and also tolls, because although on the way down here I took the scenic route and tried to stay away from tolls because I wasn't in a hurry, on the way home I will be really getting there as quickly as possible, because I'm now on the way home. I'm not off sightseeing. So on the way home I will be on a lot more toll roads through France than what I was on the way down. So hopefully at the end of the holiday I can spend some time and go through my credit card and break down tolls and petrol and camping costs. Again, just to give you an idea, I definitely can't tell you about how much I've spent while I've been there, because I really haven't kept track of it. But that depends on what you want, because your holiday will be tailored to your budget. Me, I just wanted to have a good time. This is really the only holiday that I've had this year, because all of my other trips have been business. So to me, I wasn't focusing on how much I was spending. I was just focusing on enjoying myself, and yeah. But for 2 months holiday, which is a long time, you know, I don't really think many people go on holiday for 2 months. Maybe 2 weeks here, there, 1 week here and there, but 8 weeks, 62 days it was in total actually, is a long time. And so therefore, you know, if you work out what you would normally spend for 2 weeks holiday abroad, then kind of multiply that by 3.5, and then you might have an idea about how much it's cost me. I've been eating out probably less than 50% of the time, because I would only eat out when I was with friends. Whenever I was on my own, I would cook myself, and I was really lucky because there was an Aldi right next door to the site which had everything that I needed, all the ingredients, and an average meal eating out, well, so there was a brilliant Chinese right over the road from the campsite, and it was a buffet, but it wasn't a buffet like we know buffets in the UK, where literally they lay all the food out all day, and by the time you go there it's like semi-cold or dried up. This was a buffet where literally it was a fixed price, so I think it was €19 per person, and you ordered off a menu, and you could basically have as much as you wanted, and the only proviso was you didn't leave it, because if you left it they would charge you an extra €5, because that's just abusing it. And for €19 you basically could eat as much as you wanted, and it also included unlimited wine, unlimited beer and unlimited soft drinks. Now, okay, when you consider a bottle of wine in Spain is probably £1.20 a bottle, you can understand how they can do it. We couldn't do it in the UK. But so, as I say, the average bill for a night out per person was somewhere between £8 and £16, depending on what you wanted, depending on what you were having. And the other thing I would say is this: quality. The quality was brilliant, and the reason for that is there's so much competition in Benidorm. I never, apart from once, Christmas Day, which we won't talk about that, only once did I have a bad meal. Every other meal was perfect from lots of different places. Obviously I found my favourites, like the place where I went for my breakfasts. If I had a cooked breakfast, which I probably haven't had more than 5 or 6 cooked breakfasts since I've been away, but in Benidorm you kind of get to know where the good places are by talking to people, and then you just go by recommendation. And when you find somewhere that's good, my opinion is, why change? So there you go. Anyway, I'm going to shut up for now. I'm going to carry on the journey. So while I've been talking, I've done about 30-40 kilometres. But I'll let you see a little bit of the scenery as I'm driving along, and then I'll pick it up later on if I think of anything else to say. Otherwise, I'll let you see where I'm going to be staying tonight.
In 200 meters, continue straight. Continue straight. Continue for 1 kilometer. Continue for 1 kilometer.
So we've just pulled in for a break. We've been on the road for about 2 hours. It's now 1:15, so I thought I would just stop off, have some lunch, let Ted have a bit of a walk round. And these break places, these airs, are everywhere on the Spanish motorways, so you can just pull off. You could sleep here if you wanted to overnight. So yeah, really, really handy. So this is where I'm going to be staying tonight. And this is also where I stayed on the way down, but I didn't go to Benidorm straight from here. I actually headed down more south. So yeah, I've done it. It took as near as damn it 6 hours. I've had the cruise control on all the time on 90 kilometers an hour, which is roughly 60 miles an hour. Only because I don't need to rush. So you can see all the motorhomes on your right hand side, and I'm going to be one of those tonight. Go there. Tree. That'll do for the night. We're about level. So that's it. That's the journey. The biggest part of the journey done.